Oh, where's my camera? Oh, yes. Before we start, somebody commented on the recent episode that my background was dark on YouTube. Look, I tried. We don't have the money right now, but as we go on, look, we're trying to improve the the quality, but hopefully the quality of our discussion and content is good enough. Thank you very much for the feedback. Not jokes. I was like, any feedback I can get is better, but like right now it's overcast, so it might just be as bad. Let's talk about industry. Yeah, do you want to do the intro? I'm still sad from the episode.
Welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast. We're your best friends here to talk about the Teletubbies.
Oh, why did you stop? You were actually being serious. Oh gosh, okay. I was actually like, I can't believe I got Eyo to do this.
Should I actually do it? I can't
do you want to do it?
I don't want to. I can't.
Are you okay doing it? I know you.
I'm okay doing it if I have. Thank you. I don't have a choice in most of the things I do for you. Shut up. It's not an odd thing.
It's an odd thing for me. Hello, and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast. We aren't shouting today because it's a solemn episode, but more importantly, we need to act like serious professionals because Mickey and Conrad are back and they're coming on later in this episode. So we need to at least try to be serious. So joining me to maintain this serious facade, we learnt bullshitting at the same tutorials. He's forever indispensable. Guys, it's Eyo in them.
Do you know, I never had a tutorial in uni.
Really?
Like you law guys used to come and be like, I'm having tutorial. And I don't know, what are you talking about?
So it's like a social science arts thing.
The hard sciences didn't have that.
Hard science.
The real sciences didn't have tutorials.
Okay.
You didn't get to discuss how you felt about science, is a fact.
So what did you have?
You learned your facts. Nigga, you had labs.
Oh. Okay.
You learned your facts and you tried to reproduce them in the labs. School.
Well, we had tutorials. Do you know who else had tutorials?
Who?
Mickey and Conrad at Oxford. I'm assuming Mickey. No, actually, I can't remember what Conrad studied. Whatever. I'm just trying to say that we, quote unquote, arts guys are in good company. Where is the show from the person that studied the hard science? Yeah. Where's the HBO show? Exactly. I thought so.
If you give me a second, I can probably think of one.
Are you sure? Okay.
No, I can probably think of one.
So quickly, well, we have a lot to get to, and like I said, later, Mickey and Conrad are going to be on. Our Slow Horses coverage starts this week, so please check that out. We'll be covering that every 2 episodes. Please rate and review wherever you listen to this podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. The Mickey and Conrad part of this discussion will be timestamped. What did you say?
So turn up your brightness. Sorry, go ahead.
Wow. The Mickey and Conrad part of this discussion will be timestamped later in the description, so you can just skip to that if you want. I hope you don't, but I wouldn't blame you. And if you're watching on YouTube, it's going to be in a separate video, so which is already uploaded, so you can listen to that. Okay, let's go straight into industry. Episode 5 is titled Company Man and is written by co-creators Mickey Down and Conrad K. And it's directed by Isabella Eckloff.
That's gang for real.
She is gang for real. They are gang for real. Okay. A couple of quick fire things before we go fully into the episode. You were right about Mark having a sexual relationship with Katie, which I didn't think we're going to go that route, but here we are. And I guess since we're giving out W's, I was right about Adler being sick.
You were. I have that in my notes as well. W's all round.
W's all around. Do you want to start with Robert or Yasmin?
I want to start with...
Actually, firstly,
I want to do this scene by scene.
Okay.
Or pairing by pairing.
What do you think of this episode, first of all?
No, I always go first. What do you think?
So, okay, the reason I asked you first is because I am going to basically hand this over to you now because I didn't have as detailed a description as you clearly do, because this episode stayed with me. As in, like, I went to bed like 3 hours after watching this episode, and I woke up so sad. I woke up so depressed. Objectively, I think a great episode of television. I liked this episode, but I watched it twice, and that is it. Like, I thought I was going to watch it 3 times to prepare for the Mika and Conrad interview. I was like, no, we're doing this twice. And it's so weird because the first half, as a child of Sulkin, as we've discussed several times on this run, I loved it. I was like, oh, we're in congressional hearings. Ooh, sign me up. People
I
are
thought that the
backstabbing.
talking version of this season would be just the select committee.
Oh, yeah.
It would be
But
just
as an
that.
emotionally fraught adult, the second half was a lot to take in, man. But so I guess tell me what you thought, and then do you want to do pairing by pairing, or do you want to see my scene?
I can lead that. Thank you. Is it time for us to start a dialogue?
What's the dialogue? What's the top subject line?
Is the best show on TV?
I think so.
Is the best
I
show?
think it's definitely.
That was what stayed with me after this episode. I was like, oh my God, they've done it.
It's definitely the best show this year.
I think it's the best show in production.
I'm just
premiered.
hesitant to give sweeping declarations like that. I don't disagree with you, but
They're operating on that level now. We have to start the dialogue.
Oh, 100%. Like it's top 2. It's top 2.
Yeah.
It has only one. I mean, it might be top 1 because it has only gone up. And no matter what you think of what they call it, the best third season, like as much as I personally loved it, it still went down from 2.
It's a little bit of a dip. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a dip. Not as much as the internet thinks, but whatever.
Internet's so wrong so often. Oh.
So you might be right. It might just be top 1, and it's just always gone up. I mean, I've been hesitant to say it as we're going through this run because we're in episode 5 now. And I was like, am I a shill? Am I just a glazer? That
Same,
this episode, the show just comes out as my number 1 of the year. Like, am I just not going to disregard everything? I was like, oh wait, I can't fight the truth anymore. This is my truth.
That was with that. I think that was what stayed with me at the end of this episode. I was like, it's operating on a level that is, it's worthy of that moniker, of that title now.
Yeah,
but yeah.
There's so many. Yeah,
go ahead.
No, there's just so many scenes and things that happen. I'm like, this is just not the show we were watching in season 1. Like, this is just a different show.
It's different.
It could be little things. Like, it could be little things like them having an outdoor conversation. I'm like, this just feels different. This is not like, an establishing shot. I'm just like, this is just a different show. It's just, yeah. Anyway.
I have two lines in my general notes. One of them says, just Jesus, just the word.
Do you remember when you said that? When you wrote that?
I don't remember. But the second one is, this show could go on forever.
It could. You're right. I was thinking about that as well. Like, it is not a show because, unlike, think about your favorite shows, it doesn't really have a timeline built in its premise. Breaking Bad, Walt had to die.
Cancer.
Succession, there had to be a succession.
Cancer.
Right? Like, the show that is really closest to it is something like Mad Men. And Mad Men ran for 7 seasons because you can't just reinvent the show every season. Game of Thrones, somebody has to take the throne. So like all those shows have the thing inbuilt in their premise. So well, so yeah, this is like, I know they would not go forever, like 100%, but like it's a show that could definitely do 5-6 seasons.
Yeah. But what I got from that is I wouldn't have said that after season 1 either.
Season 1.
Like, it
quality
feels like,
wise or content wise?
Quality wise, just it feels like the engine behind all these stories is purring, and it can go on forever now. Anyways, let's start. Let's jump into this episode. Let's start with this shower scene, because the episode starts with Robert, and then I think that was very indicative of what we were trying to say, right?
Yeah.
But he doesn't do much in that first one apart from workout. He looks good.
Yeah, I was going to say, like,
he looks good. I didn't like his formal makeups, but he looks good.
like, I'm sorry. What is wrong with me?
Look, Banky, after I got my guns out in episode 2, I've been getting lots of compliments, man.
Wow. Okay. I guess sex really does sell.
It
I
sells.
mean, industry would know that.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
think let's start with the shower scene. Do you think so it starts in the shower with Mark and Yaz,
Yes. Yeah.
and he does the muckiest thing, but we'll get to that. The first thing he does say is he's talking about how Pierpoint has assigned
Mm-hmm.
Robert to go in front of the select committee and basically
Mm-hmm.
take the blame for the bailout that's had to happen in this episode or for his company. He says that he feels bad for Robert, he's going to make it right. Did you
Mm-hmm.
believe him when he said that?
100%.
You did.
I Yes. Yes. I
I
believed him.
did as well. And I
I
thought I
believed
was
him.
being naive
Naive.
for believing
Like,
him.
I even forgot he said that when I was watching it. It was when I on rewatch. I was like, oh, you did say this, and you ended up just being a terrible person. Like, yeah, I believed him. I thought he was going to do something to help Robert. Yeah.
And then he eventually asks Yasmin to urinate on him. What was your favorite line? Because there's 3 that stand out for me in this whole sequence. And it's not that long a sequence because it's maybe
I mean, there's only
3
one for me.
minutes.
There's only one for me. I'm not a pervert. I'm practical.
I'm not a power. No, no.
Do you know why I know
There's
that?
two others for me. There's 2 others for
But do
me.
you know why
Just
I know
Kiss
that's
and Think of
mine?
England.
Because
Why?
I didn't make a note of it, and you just asked me, and that was the first thing that dropped into my head.
Fair.
But what are the other two?
2 others for me. Just Piss and Think of England. Incredible. Incredible.
I was so confused. I was like, what does he mean?
And then he also doesn't say pee on me or anything like that. He says relieve yourself on me, which I don't know, man. That really cracked me up. It really tickled me.
I remember when we were watching episode 2, I think when Treacle, when Sweet Pea,
Sweet pea.
not when we watched it, so when episode 2 was airing in the real world, and I was live watching it. So when Sweet Pea was talking about his fetish, I think she mentions it, but maybe the person didn't catch it. But the person was like, oh, Mark likes to get peed on. And in my mind, I was like, oh, just you wait. So this was like, they were like, Mark likes to pee on people. And I was like, oh, just you wait. It's not that. It's
Shout out for
definitely not
Treacle,
that.
man. Justice for Treacle. Bring her
Treacle,
back.
body too dangerous for social
It's
media. What's the
too
third line?
dangerous. Anyways, so that's how the episode starts, and then they quickly
No, you said you have 3. Oh no, it was relieve yourself and
relieve
then
yourself
okay,
on me.
sorry,
That
continue.
tickled me to no end, and I think it's because that's how, like in Nige, that's how you teach kids to talk. I want to go and ease myself.
Do you know how many times you've compared Mock to a Nigerian twice? It's not
I
that
think
many,
it's
but
the use
it's
of
still
language. I think it's the use of language. I think it's colonial.
Mm-mm. I have a thought about that during the hearing process. Let's go.
Yes. Okay, so then we move over to the Pierpoint offices post hearing. It is
Mm-hmm.
a charity day, the children something charity. Uh, but it's mostly focused on I guess, the suits and one definitive not suit, getting Robert ready for his hearing. How long did it take you to know that was Eric?
Maybe until it cut to him.
I was so shocked when I saw that.
Yeah, because and this actually goes to the larger point of the episode because Eric has not been painted as that character this season.
Not at all.
Like the way they shot that character was it was an Adler-esque character, like a foreboding, evil, quote unquote character, the way he was shot without obviously holding the head.
Mhm.
So I didn't expect it to be Eric. I thought it was going to be like a more menacing person. So when it got to it, I was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's what Eric is doing this episode, I guess.
Do you think the severed head on the table was like foreshadowy?
Yeah. And I mean, look, guys, I studied law. Eyo,
Oh.
as we've mentioned, studied hard sciences. So we're not that knowledgeable. So if you can tell us who Eric was dressed as, please let us know. We try to figure it out between ourselves. We don't really know. I'm sure that plus the severed head is definitely like an Easter egg, stroke an indication to his role either in this episode or going forward. But yeah, they tell Robert to wear his glasses and change his tie.
To Tory blue or royal blue. And I think that was foreshadowing. And
Foreshadowing what?
the private club eventually.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, you also catch that. I mean, we're skipping ahead now. I apologize. Or kind of like Mock is also wearing similar glasses.
Yes.
So he's obviously had similar research done. Anyway, yeah. And then I guess this woman also tells Eric that she should basically get Yasmin out of the way. Or do you want to stick to Robert?
No. We can move on.
And then Eric tries to tell Yasmin, and then Yasmin is like, "No, I want to do my work. I'm not your daughter." And he's like, "Oh, babes, I don't think of you as my daughter."
He's like, I'm trying to fuck. For
Oh,
real.
are you on that train now?
100%. No, I think it couldn't be clearer in this episode if they wanted. He was like, yo. Because they talked a little bit, and then he was like, by the way, I'm finna fuck. Like, don't ever get it twisted.
They called me
Give me a
mad.
If you give me a chance, I'm all up in there.
Especially now that he knows for a fact that he fucks like a young man.
Yeah.
So
Do you think all his side missions with Denise the lawyer and with the escort that he has earlier, do you think that's just him prepping for Yasmin?
Yeah. I mean, look, I keep saying there's some people that they're like, that's a Champions League final. I can't come into it cold. I might need to go for a season on loan just to have my skills, or I need to come in 2 weeks earlier in preseason. Like I can't go into this match cold. I need to prepare my skills. I just need to be ready. I know that. Yeah, you need to be match fit. Like there's sometimes you just like, you know what, I am chatting to you, but I need to just go chat with some people just so I can give you my best self. And I've been there. I think we've all been there. It's just it makes sense. And he sees Yasmin. I will do the same if I was Eric. It makes sense.
Fair enough. But then it switches to my favorite character, who I think I've been proven right for having her as my favorite character this season. It switches to Sweet Pea trying to warn people that a margin call is about to happen.
They're
doing a margin call.
A margin call. I love that. That's cheating because this show does not have bad characters.
So
business. whoever you invest in, it will always come good.
It will always pay off.
Yes.
Long live Sweet Pea Golightly. Yeah, so Sweet Pea tries to talk to Rishi, who is back to his absolute worst. Back to his absolute worst. Learned nothing.
Dressed as Ali G.
Perfect, by the way.
Even like shaves for it. I'm like, this is just incredible.
Perfect. So she tries to talk to Rishi about some risks that she's seen. Rishi palms her off. She tries to talk to Yasmin, and Yasmin is understandably a little overwhelmed today. But, in my head, I was like, yeah, you have to make time for the people you're managing. Anyways, she then goes straight to Eric and tells him off, which I thought he found hot. So he was like, okay, cool. I'm going to come meet you in the room.
Hot is interesting because
I think he was turned on.
I think he was definitely impressed. Yes, I did not go with hot in my own notes.
I think it twitched. when she did that.
Okay.
Let's jump a little bit. Yeah. So Eric follows her to the room, and Sweet Pea lays out in the most Sweet Pea fashion because she's just saying, oh, my friend, this person told me this, and my friend, this person told me that. But she lays out her case in where she thinks that Pierpoint is actually on the brink of financial ruin because they have basically bet too much on their green, their ESG projects, and essentially the equities in all those companies is probably going to zero. So they're going to have
equity in those companies.
Yes. So they're going to have a bad time.
Yeah. Understatement, but continue.
Great acting from Eric in that scene because he calms her down and says, hey, this is a little illegal, so don't tell anybody about this. And don't worry about it. It's fine. But then immediately she leaves, he calls Adler and he's like, yo, what's up?
But also in terms of his acting, I think this show is great because, like, even when you don't understand the finance, they always let you know what is going on by everybody else's reaction, and you can. This entire scene is really two shots. One shot over Eric's shoulder, one shot over not Venetia, Petra. God,
How dare you?
sweet pea's shoulder. just I just throw the white women. Um, no, but like you see Eric in real time, like begin to realize what this girl is saying, and he gets invested into everything. Like you're like, oh, this guy knows that this situation is fucked. Like he knows what's going on,
Yeah, it's a
and then
margin
obviously he
call.
tells her, he says that 2 + 2 = fucked. Um, and even Sweet Pea, I think Sweet Pea in that scene, like she when he says that line 2 + 2 = fucked, she feels a bit like, oh, this guy's taking me seriously. Oh, I did a
Yeah.
good thing, and then he basically just like shuts her down and cuts her off at her knees, and she's like, yeah. Do you think they're trying to say anything about maybe this generation of like Gen Z workers in the way that they're also freely talking to one another about different things? Like it's very
No,
unlikely that Yasmin and Harper would have had this conversation in season
but they're
one or
not
two.
Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea is a relationships person.
No, but like, do you think it's a sweet? I mean, obviously, sweet pea is, but like, do you think it's a sweet pea thing, or is she just more an indication of their entire, like, the
I think
wider
it's a Sweet
generation?
Pea thing. I'm not sure it's a generational thing.
Hmm. Okay.
Although it's an interesting point in that there will be differences between like mini cohorts. Like each cohort will have a little bit of
Oh,
difference.
I think that's we are talking about this. I was talking about this with TMT actually. And you and I have discussed about like, is this show the definitive show like that represents us
Mm,
as a mini generation, right? It's like there's no real show that is close to our age in either way. Like because below us is Euphoria, which is what they're like meant to be 18 or
they're
19,
children. Yeah.
and then the other ones are like
Exactly. I'm
real, like
31.
I'm not trying to say like, and then the other one, well, there's no show between apart from intersection between Euphoria and you, which is my
Um,
point.
when was Girl set?
So we
What
talk
do you
about
mean
girls,
like
but
airing now?
yes, we talk about because like girls would, I think girls she must have been like 25
Mm,
when you were like maybe 20, 21. So
I'd
even
have
at
been
that, it
21,
was
yeah.
still. Yeah. So, but that was the point. And like industry right now is the one show that, but like Harper, Yasmin, Rob are meant to be Gen Zs, but they very clearly exhibit millennial
They're
tendencies, and
early Gen Zs.
they are very
They're like
elegant. So like
96 Gen Zs.
so you find yourself acclimatizing more with them than Venetia. But even at that, Venetia and Sweet Pea are so very different. Like you can see that little change in between the
Mm-hmm.
Gen Z thing. I just thought it's really great how the show does that. And like, oh, this is actually a show for us being people that are between the ages of maybe 25 and 34. Like this, we kind of feel ourselves in those characters more than,
Mm,
for example, the Roy children or anyone else.
fair.
Um, but yeah, but yeah, Eric calls Adler and is like, "We need to speak." And Adler comes over.
And then we switch to the select committee.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to do this? Do you want to do the whole select committee
I
now?
think we should do the whole thing.
Okay. Because this, like I said, if Sorkin was writing this show, this would be the device for the whole season. Maybe
Like we
two
keep coming
seasons.
back to it. Basically, so, Newsroom season 2.
It would be Newsroom season 2.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it would be fucking awesome because I think the little bit of back and forth that we get here, I think is so good.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get into that. So it starts off with Rob in the bathroom, which also lots of bathrooms in this episode. I don't know if they're in the bathroom a lot. They're
Huh.
in the shower,
Yeah,
and
you're
this
right. You're
one.
right.
There's a lot of like stuff is happening in the bathroom in this episode. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's an industry thing or just a this episode thing. But I was like, why are we always in toilets? Low key.
maybe it's the only way you can find privacy.
Fair.
Even though Sweet Pea
Um,
realizes that that's not true, or she doesn't realize, but we realize that that's not true.
hi.
But we'll
Our
get
first
there.
L this season. Anyways,
It's not
um,
her L.
it is.
Mm.
So Rob is in the bathroom throwing up straight out of this mom spaghetti. It's
Yeah,
Eminem.
yeah.
Um, but what I took from there is like the nervousness was so palpable. Like, I think before he'd been putting on such a brave face that I didn't realize how nerve-wracking
Yeah, I was like,
it
he
must
can
have
just go
been.
and bullshit it. But I was like, oh no, actually no,
Yeah,
this is like on TV. This is a
he's in
big
front of the
deal. Plus,
government.
he's like 26.
That was what I was thinking. I was like, oh, he's not keeping it together. And then I was like, I always have to remember they're kids. These guys are 25, 26.
They're kids.
Katie walking in had me shook, I can't lie.
Not until they started talking, because I thought she was just there as Mock's person.
Nah.
You
They would
knew.
have flashed to her in the crowd. Her walking in, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
something bad to happen. But I wasn't sure if it was going to be, I knew it was something around her, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be positive or negative for Mock.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So Rob is trying to read his statement, and this Labour babe, Lisa Dunn, great name, is eating into him. She's so scary. I was not expecting. I don't think anyone in the government today is that scary. Like in the British government today, I don't
Yeah, I
think
get what
anybody
you
that
mean.
scary.
Maybe because nobody has principles. Sorry, continue.
So she eats into him a little bit, asks him all sorts of questions around whether he has any integrity or
He cares about people that their houses that get going cold.
going cold.
Which I
And
felt bad because we know Robert
we know
does.
he cares, and it begins to
Yeah.
get to him.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes outside, he's having a little smoky smoke, and he's angry. He's shouting at the
No, before he
lawyer.
goes outside, he asks to use the toilet.
Oh,
That's why
yeah.
he's allowed to go outside.
And they adjourned for 20 minutes. And I was like, I wouldn't, 20 minutes is a long time.
Uh-huh.
I would have said 5, but fair. And then Muck comes.
Mm-hmm.
And Rob, I don't know, what do you think he felt in that moment? Because I
Anger.
think it was, I felt that was a little bit of relief. Because like you said, you'd be here.
Yeah, I think he was meant to be there earlier.
Yeah, from the beginning, yeah.
So he's angry that like he's hanging him out to dry.
Yeah.
Actually, because was that before? That was after Yasmin. I told him that Mock said she's gonna like
Yes,
he's gonna support him. So I think he was very, and then obviously leads to the bathroom where he basically accuses him of being a predator. So I think he was definitely angered when he saw Mock.
Then Mock snaps at him, which was crazy. Crazy to me.
Also
I don't know if that
snapping.
was like an intentional motif that they wanted to bring back from Adler snapping at Eric, but that's what it reminded me of.
Mm-hmm. Feels more like an actor choice, but yeah.
Fair. And then Muck finally gets in front of the select committee.
Yeah. And I think Robert goes before that, but Robert doesn't really, because because they come back from their journey, and then Robert doesn't really say anything to implicate Mock too much, and then it's Mock's turn. And my first thing about this Mock thing is like he sounded different.
In what sense?
To me, he sounded like a character from The Crown.
Ah,
I felt I might be wrong, but I felt like he turned up the
poshness,
the royal intonations. Like he sounded, which I don't know if that helps him. I don't know why that would help him, but like actually it does, because this stupid country they support the royal family no matter what.
Country.
So I think they probably think, oh, royal family more trustworthy. But to me, he sounded a lot more posh, and I was like, oh, if I close my eyes, I'll think this is a character on The Crown. Like
Fair
he
enough.
had that intonation, obviously plus the glasses, and then he just basically says,
It's my banker turns around. What a bastard. What a bastard. Turns around.
Incredible shot. I was like, Robert, actually, no, we should talk about the fact that like they turned this select committee into an attack on Mock's person, which is not, I guess, I didn't expect it, but also I guess not what Robert expected. Which is one of those things, I guess, like Lisa Dern had this kind of golden bullet, and she's like, oh, okay, you think we're coming here, but I'm going to make you show that you're actually a predator and a creep, and hopefully that will get public on the other side. Yeah. A great shot from that is when Katie, because he's like, I would like to keep everything personal for respect for people that brought it up. And then Katie walks out. And everyone turns around to look at Katie except Mock. And I was like, oh.
Hard.
It's like, oh, yes, I'm cooking, aren't you?
Hard.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about before we go to Aurora?
No.
So we go to Aurora, and she puts on performance for lifetime.
Bruh, she's so good. She's so good. Also, she's Secretary of State, which is something I didn't know.
That cannot be. I was thinking about this. That cannot be correct. Like, not obviously it's correct, but like, has she? Because she was once energy secretary.
Yeah,
So I just think she's like jumped up
I guess so.
between episodes. I mean, I get it could be the show being like, look, remember how this cabinet they just move around every
They
2
yeah,
months, which
they've
I
been
think is
shuffling.
because she's already had 3 posts since the time we've known her.
Yeah.
My only
One of
fear in
my
this scene was that I thought she was going to be like actually put Pierre
yeah,
Point on the cross,
yeah, same,
but she
same.
didn't do that.
Before that, Rob confronts the lawyer
Yeah,
to ask, "Why are you trying to fuck me?" And then
because
she
you're fuckable.
responds, "Because you're fuckable, Robert."
Sorry, from a business side, the
On a
company
company
thinks you're
level, you're
fuckable.
fuckable. She's so frustrated. So funny.
Um,
But honestly, at this point, I was like, you guys really need to stop punishing Rob.
yeah.
Why can't he have a good day?
So okay, so what happens for the rest of the episode? But we'll get to all of that, I guess.
Yeah. Aurora says scandal has become such an iterative process for us that he has ceased to be scandal. Incredible line.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible line.
Did you know she was bullshitting?
Not bullshitting. I knew she was making a power play as soon as she said, and that's why I've just come from number 10.
Fair.
I knew she was making a power play because my next note was, bruh, how many power moves are we making in this episode?
God, we're so cynical. So a politician is like, I'm resigning because of this problem. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
we know what you're doing.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
I knew she was definitely. I knew she was definitely like in cahoots with Mock them. So like when she came into the room later, I wasn't surprised. I was like,
I was shocked. I think that's probably when I read Jesus.
probably. When she was giving, I was like, oh, I know what they're doing here. Which is why I thought she was gonna pin it on Pierre Point to really just take off all the blame from him. What do you want to do? Go to that thing? Do you want to switch back to Harper? No, Harper. I guess Harper and Yasmin. Or do you want to finish with Robert and Mock?
Fine. Let's finish with Robert and Mock. But
Finish with
I
Robert
think
and Mock?
you can lead this since it hit you so hard. So they leave the select committee and go back to the private club. And that's where it's revealed that Aurora alongside Otto, the other man, I forget his name.
Yeah, the uncle.
They were all in on it. And it's all in a bid to make her the next prime minister.
But also to clear Mock of any wrongdoing.
Yeah. Clear Mock. Yeah. I think that's incidental. This
really
was the most power is power.
I thought clearing Mock was the main thing, and then
the main objective, and she gets okay. I mean, fair.
No, she gets prime minister's reward for her work.
Fair.
Yeah, but you're saying power is power.
Yeah, man, that was what I was feeling when I was just watching this episode, especially when Mark asks Aurora about the potential criminal investigation, and she says just going to end up in someone else's entry, and I was like, damn. Power is
I
power.
love that everybody like Otto clearly loves Robert now. He's like, look, Harper has learned. Like he's jumped from the muzzle your bitches from episode 2. He's like, Harper has learned. Your friend Harper, I can't remember his name, but the head of the newspaper is like, you did well. Aurora is like, you did well. Everyone kind of, apart from Mock, is like, I thought Oxford taught us to be bullshitters.
So
but everyone is kind of like
bad bullshitter.
Yeah, everybody's actually kind of praising. And we kind of knew Aurora had this. Remember how season 2 ended with Gus?
Yeah.
My thing with this episode, honestly, in a perfect world, we would do 2 podcasts on this episode. Because I would want to discuss the first half on its own and then discuss the second half on its own, because they are such different episodes.
Yes.
Like the first half, like you said, is a sulking newsroom, whatever, courtroom thingy. And then the second one is like, it's a psycho trip. And we can talk about that now. I think, do you want to go there? Do you want to go straight there?
Let's go.
I'm not someone who necessarily like reacts or react is the right word to like, oh, I took a drug and I'm gonna have this trip now. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really work on me. So once I was like, okay, whatever, we're doing this, whatever. But I think it might just be just how invested we are as Robert fans, man.
Mm.
Remember like season 2, we were like Robert Spearing fan club. And because we know so much of like Robert has been building up, like all of this is not, we know, we've talked about it, like everybody in his life is dying. And then him now finally confronting all of it. And then that shot when he's in like Pierpoint offices and there's like all the screens of the different things that have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And like is he's making a cry and be like, oh, don't forget that he was here when Harry died. Don't forget about that time. Like they literally putting everything. I don't know. And then I mean the kicker is the mom bit. If
What
that
what
had
did that
lasted,
what did that signify for you? Because I'm not sure how to read that.
I think okay. Oof, okay.
Actually, no, that's the wrong question. It's not the mum bit, which is I think that's clear-ish, but we can get into that. But the
Yeah.
Nicole and the water thing.
The Nicole and Water bit. So let's just do everything because I'm just gonna fly off the handle.
Mm-hmm.
I think the mom thing is his original, not sin, original damage.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think his mom and mostly his mom's death is what has made Robert as ambitious as he is.
Mm.
I think he's been trying in her death to make her proud.
Proud, yeah.
Like she wanted him to go to Oxford, so he wanted to go to Oxford. And then all of it now is like, these are the things that she would want. I think Robert, actually, we know that Robert is not that person. Robert is probably more of I do my work, I earn maybe 90K a year, I go home, I chill, and I party. But like he's intrinsically a good person, quote unquote. Like he's not, he's not someone that is built for this world in which like
Like how
he's not someone that is
ruthless it is.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But I think everything he's doing is to achieve that. Um, he's not Gus, he's not Harper, he's not Yasmin. Like those people are political animals and ruthless animals. He's not that person.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's always been trying to fulfill his mom, and he talks about how his mom was very present and very controlling and demanding and a tyrant. I think that's what his dad said.
That's what his dad said, yeah.
I said that moment where he's going to his mom at the screen, if that had lasted 30 seconds longer, I would probably have started crying. Like it was like I was like, this is hitting me. The Nicole bit, I don't know. Because first of all, I was like, oh,
I didn't know what to
is
think.
the water just like a recurring motif
Rain.
from the thingy from so I was going so many things. First thing I was like, is it just like the water in his house? Is that just like, when your brain, the dreams just
Yeah.
meld? But then I was like, oh, is it the rain? Because obviously they
When
fell
she
asleep
died.
in the rain when
Yeah.
she died. But then I was like, are they just doubling down on the mother metaphor?
That
Like
was
that's how
also what came to my
that's how
mind.
water
Water
breaking.
breaking. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's probably mostly the third one and a bit of the second one. Like I don't think it's a coincidence. Like there's a reason she died during the rain. Maybe it's to make this scene make more sense or whatever. But I think the entire point of that scene though is to double down on the mother thing and like just signify that like she's his mother, I guess. I don't know. I think seeing Robert's entire side again, maybe what hit me the most was just remembering, or not remembering because I always knew, but like seeing all that Robert has gone through.
Yeah. Because it was very visual in that, like it's stark. When someone lines up all the things back to back.
Yeah, and in a way that like none of it is really his fault.
No.
Like without being rude or whatever, like it's like apart from maybe Harper's panic attack, which we never saw, but every other thing that you said it came across Harper, Yasmin, like you're like, okay, well, your actions led to this. Right? Excluding maybe what happens this season with Yasmin. But Robert is just like, oh, Robert was in the bathroom and he saw Harry die.
Bruh.
Robert's mom died. The person that he was sleeping with just
next
died.
to Nicole and she's dead. Yeah.
His mentor just died. Like, it's like, none of this is his action. It's just like, he's just dead around. And yeah. So, I don't know. I thought it was a lot. I felt really icky at the end of the episode. Just about Robert. But yeah, no, I think The shoe shine thing, I don't know what that is about.
That was weird.
Because we've seen the shoe shine guy once this
This
season.
season, yeah.
Eric randomly mentioned him in the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
So it's like, what does that represent? Is that just like, because we've never seen a shoe shine guy before? I didn't know they still existed in 2024.
Yeah. I mean, Rishi's episode was the first time that I think
Actually,
we
yeah,
saw
there was the same
him.
episode
So
that
it
we
was
saw
two
them
times
and
in
it
one
was
episode and then again
mentioned.
this one. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. So anyway, unless it's a signifier of like not new wealth, but like when someone like Rishi and maybe Rob gets rich, they get someone to shine their shoes at work. So I don't know. But yeah, did that Robert thing, how did that feel for you?
That's cool, man. You know, I don't really feel that kind of stuff. That's why I had to let you take that, because I was like, it didn't work on me the way it's supposed to, and that's fair. That's fair.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look,
you know,
there are some storylines that will just kind of always hit me in a different way. That's okay. Should we talk about Yasmin?
It's the same BoJack Horseman thing, like.
Oh yeah, look at me. I'm too
I thought it was
emotionally
cool.
okay for BoJack Horseman to affect me. Oh, look at me, I'm different.
I wasn't like, whoa,
But then,
BoJack Horseman. Oh my god, BoJack Horseman.
Yeah, okay. We'll go to the Yasmin.
Yes, let's do Yasmin. So should we start in the bathroom? Not the shower with Mark, but the bathroom.
Yeah, no, we'll start with bathroom. Sorry. One thing on Robert before we leave Robert is, I guess, I'm sorry, this was the entire point of my whole thing, but like about his human ambition. I guess the idea is that he's choosing now to maybe cut it off.
Yeah.
Like selling I think his quote about it matters where the money comes from is very interesting.
I think that is the thesis of, I think, if not the show, I think that is Robert's arc.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Yasmin Clay doesn't care where the money comes from, at least from season 2. She doesn't care.
Yeah.
Harper 100% does not care. So I think Robert, yeah. And I remembered Frank Wade's line in episode 3, where he's like, I might work for an institution, but I'm not institutionalized. And I think that might be Robert trying to get out of that. And then on that same theme, Yasmin says, don't question the jailer when he hands you the keys.
Fair.
And it's funny because Yasmin would never take that advice, but whatever.
Yasmin is not in jail. I think that's the issue.
She's not in jail.
She's not in jail.
So did you think that was like a genuinely like sentimental moment? She's like, you're not built for this.
Yeah. I think so. And I think it's been happening throughout, because he calls Yasmin, which I find so lovely, that most of the time when he's in trouble, he calls Yas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go to Yasmin and Sweet Pea in the bathroom.
Yeah.
How can Sweet Pea be so bad at opening doors? Because the stall that all you need to do is blam. You just one time.
You don't just do that though. Like,
yes, you do. Yes, you do. Especially if you're trying to see if people are there. Open the door. What are we doing? First L Sweet Pea are saying this season, man. What is she doing? She's just tapping the door. What is that meant to do?
So, but as if you're going with the assumption that somebody is hiding.
Why are you opening it if you're not going with the assumption that someone's
just
hiding?
make sure there's I don't know.
Make sure that there's no one hiding? What are we doing?
There's no one using it. I mean, I guess you're right. Because Yasmin also looks Harper in this sequence is incredible. I was like, Harper, how far are you willing to go?
I think the editing in that sequence was so good, because they say something and then they switch to Harper reacting. I was like, so good.
I was like, Harper, how far are you willing? Like she's crouching on the toilet. I was like, Harper, come on, babe. How far are you willing to go? My only note here is that Yasmin's track record of giving advice to female juniors is incredibly bad.
She's 0 for like 3 now.
Can I be a bit rude to Yasmin?
Go ahead.
Do you think she reacted like that because she didn't understand what Sweet Pea was saying?
No. I think she reacted like that because she doesn't take Sweet Pea seriously.
Really?
I think so. Like when it comes to like a work, like she's like, yo, Sweet Pea, I get it. But like, Like my things are definitely going to be more important than whatever you think you have found out. Like even if you think the company is going down, like it's not you that's going to find the ticket.
So okay, yeah. So my now I'm being serious. My serious reading of that was that she was just like when she says out of her pay grade, she means that she's just like it's not our business kind of thing. Not that she doesn't take us serious, just like let's focus on what we can
I
focus
think
on.
it's both. I think it's like it's out of a pay grade if it's true, but then also like it's it's definitely out of your pay grade, man. Like you're
Mm,
not going to be catching it.
yeah. Anyway, so Harper gets the information.
Doesn't wash her
Um,
hands, nasty girl.
I mean, I thought about that, but she can't.
I know she can't, but still nasty.
She'll, I think she'll find the first like hand sanitizer station.
Do you think Harper is going to use this information to take over Leviathan?
Sequester. Oh, I don't know what I don't know what she's gonna do with it, but
Definitely a
I
power
mean,
move.
I think we might, depending on if we have time, might ask Mickey and Karan about this. But there's a much longer like Harper arc from this episode
Mm.
that they had to cut out obviously because of time. So yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, like people might have complaints about the lack of Harper this season. I think that's a dumb complaint because like there's less Harper, but like it's as if the show has suffered from that.
Mm.
But I definitely
An
think
ensemble
with
show.
what she's with what she's gathered now, this episode, I think Harper is placed to play a very pivotal role in the last three episodes, definitely. Should we go to the Gentleman's Club? Not Gentleman's Club, I guess, because women are allowed. Um, when Yasmin confronts Mock, and then he hires the bird, he says like,
It's the best line of the episode. It's the best line of the episode.
"Please say it." I can't
And
say it
it's
without laughing.
delivered impeccably. Impeccably. Banky, there were so many Emmy nominations in this episode. So many. I think Kit Harington deserves an Emmy just for the reading of the line. Yasmin shouts at him, it's an abuse of power, talking about him fucking his employees. And then he says, everything is an abuse of power in relationships with me, Yaz. I can only fuck down. Incredible, incredible line reading.
Who should I fuck? Hillary Clinton, Kamala
Come
Harris.
on. And then his nasty friend says, I love a cafe au lait, which I think upset me more than anything else
Please
that
explain. I didn't
happened
get
in this
that.
episode.
I didn't
It
get
upset me
that.
more than everything else in this episode.
Wait, it's got as wait. Oh, wait. No.
Yeah.
Explain.
Yes. Mixed. Yeah.
Oh no.
Upset me more than anything else in this episode.
Oh no. I didn't. Oh no. I thought it
And
was like
then
some rich thing I didn't understand, but it's actually
uh,
just the most basic
it's
of
just
of,
basic
of
racism.
references.
It's just base level racism.
Oh god.
And then Mark, high as a kite, is talking to Yasmin about how, first of all, Yasmin, stand up. Because he says that, and then he says, but I'm done with bitches. Like, you're my main bitch. You're so special to me. And then she's like, stop it. What are you doing? Stand up. Stand up. Your bitch should be
Yasmin was
weak
that
on
mean. She
me.
was like, Henry, this isn't you, Henry. This isn't you. And he was like, "Oh, we're so vulnerable." She's like, "Bro, shut up,
Bro,
man." Like
stop talking.
she can see where he's.
Ah.
And then his friend is like, "You got another person to pee on you."
And she flips the tail, lick it off the floor.
Oh god! And then it leads us to the conversation outside. What
Otto
was that again?
says, before she goes, like when she storms out, and Otto is like, I always liked her.
And then Mock to Robert is like, "Give it a nudge." I guess it's like make her, I guess, be happier or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
And then they have a conversation and a scene that is going to give birth to a million fan cams where
And you can be the father of one bank. You stop making the fan cams.
she basically says, "Why can't you love me?" Which is basically what she's been saying since season 2. Um,
Do you think he loves her? Not as a friend, more than a friend.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think he could.
I don't
I
think
don't think he
so.
does. But I
Yeah,
think it's because he doesn't want to.
but how does that work? Like, how do they? say, "Oh, we're going to be a couple now." It feels like there's just too much baggage in between them to actually make it as a couple.
I don't know if they can make it as a couple. I don't think
Do you
Yasmin can
think
ever be with someone like Robert.
class or personality?
I think going to what she says later in the episode, I think she likes men like her dad. I mean, what
Yeah.
Robert says to her.
Do you think she loves Robert? Let me throw
I
that
think
question
she
back at
does.
you then.
I think right now, as a friend.
No, not as a friend. They love each
Oh,
other. They love each other as friends. They might be the best friendship on the show right now. Which, guys, can I just say something? Robert has constantly been in the best friendship of every season.
he is.
Season
He's a
one was
good
Robert.
boy.
Season one was Robert and Gus. Season two was Robert and Harper. Season three, Robert and Yasmin. I'm just saying, clearly the best character of this show. It's not even close.
He's a
We
good
need
boy.
to respect Robert more.
I mean, he's not the best character when
Oh my
SPGL is
god.
there, but like
Oh, SPGL.
Sweet Pea go lightly.
Yeah. So okay. Should we just go to the end? Oh no, sorry. She gets a call from Denise that says your dad's body has been found, and it sent her on a bender. What did you think when she got that call? We start wrapping up.
My notes are Lamau, what is this show? Question mark. Did she kill her dad? 5 question marks.
And then we see her. She comes into Robert's bedroom, and probably like at 7 a.m. or something.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a conversation, which ends with her saying that she killed her dad.
What does Robert say to her first? Is that when he says you're
No,
destined
Robert
to
is.
marry your
He
dad?
says you're destined to be with someone like your dad.
Yeah.
No, you're destined to marry your dad or something like that. And she's like, I can't. I killed. She laughs and she's like, I can't. I killed him. And then they both laugh. Um, I don't know. How do we have this conversation? Can we just? I don't know what.
Have
There's
to
really no way to discuss this. I mean, we're gonna know more by next week.
It's so
Maybe we'll know
dumb
more
that we
from
didn't
this
see this coming.
conversation.
Like I feel like it's such a miss, but then and that's only because I think other people were calling it much earlier.
Yeah,
That's the only reason I
yeah.
feel like it's a miss, because I just didn't think the show was gonna do that.
Do you think when Mickey and Conrad wrote it, like, do you even think they thought it was a thing that like? I don't think they write for like shock value, but I also think they write to surprise. Like, do you think they thought it would be a surprise, or do you think they thought people would be onto it? Because there are no clues. I know. Look, we don't watch TV like that. You and I. We've said that. But I also know, where are the clues? Where have you guys got this from?
I mean, on the what is it called? The Friday show.
Yeah.
What is it called?
The trading desk.
Yeah, on the trading desk when after episode 1, when they're like, "Hey, the flashbacks were violent. I think she killed her father." I'm like, "Bro, what are you talking about?"
Ebuka texted me after I watched episode, was like, "Did she kill her dad?" I'm like, where are you
Bro,
guys
from
getting
where?
this
From
from?
where?
And I'm like, look, I'm holding my hands up. We didn't think about it. I'm even happy because that's just, I never want to be like a theory podcast or whatever. So I'm not trying to do that. But just like, I cannot see the clues that you people are
Share the
seeing.
clues, guys. If you suspected this before episode 5, share the clues. Tell us what you saw.
Because, I mean, granted, the flashbacks did look violent. And we mentioned that they looked violent. And we're like, oh, could it be physical assault or even worst case, sexual assault?
Mm.
But that's where we stopped. Because we're just like,
Because obviously he got on a boat and left. He ran away.
so interesting.
Does
Anyway,
it? How do you feel about that, though? How do you feel about that twist?
I don't I don't know what I can say that doesn't make me sound like a shill.
Like what?
I definitely think like a shill. Like I definitely think we need to see how next, because we thought this was gonna be, we said Nikki Beach, the flashback
Yeah.
episode. That's gonna be, so Nikki Beach is next week. We don't know if it's a flashback episode or not. But I guess considering how this episode ended, we'll probably know more next week. I guess, I don't know, man. Like it shows at the point where like I give benefit of the doubt most of the time. And most times it just knocks it out. So I can't really like,
I was excited by it.
I was just angry that other people had guessed it before me. That was the
That's
main
fair. I was so excited. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to.
So as opposed to judging the twist or whatever, I am very intrigued for how they make it work because I know they will make it work. And I'm not saying that because you're about to hear them speak in the next 10 minutes, but like they've just done things. Like this show is so confident. You know when a show is confident, I know they'll make it. So I'm like, okay, how are you going to make this work? Because is it going to be something like really bumbling, like just like he slips and hits his head, and then like it's not going to be that, right? I also want to know if Harper knows.
Eat. What if he eats your words so badly? Or the beginning of the next episode is them arguing as she pushes him and he slips and falls. Oh, clip it, Chad. Clip it.
They will come back and you see how much of a glazer I am. I'm like, wow, this is spectacular filmmaking. Wow,
Wait.
I didn't see coming. But I want to know if Harper knows. I feel like she might know.
I think she does.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Anyway,
That was
anything
no.
else?
I was gonna say that was the episode, but no, that's not the episode because we're missing my favorite characters.
Oh fuck! This
Adler and Eric.
should be split.
It's so big. So first of all, Musala's name is Ali, and he's a nepo baby. What the fuck? I thought he was like some assassin kind of guy. I thought he was like Adler's like guy.
Yeah,
but he's just Yasmin.
it's just
It's just Yasmin. Competent and very, very dour. He doesn't even dress up. But yes,
he wears sneakers with his suits.
And I think the family that he's linked to, or the family business that he's linked to, is who buys the pounds at the end of.
Oh, so you think he just calls his dad and is
I
like,
don't know, but
"Do you want to buy pounds?"
I think it's the same company. I don't know if he calls his dad, but it's the same
Fair
company.
enough.
So Adler and Eric, their storyline in this episode is two things. First of all, there's a margin call. We're doing a margin call. And the second one is Adler has cancer. Like,
do you want to explain what a margin call is? People that have not watched the movie or don't know what margin call is.
Go watch Margin Call.
My God.
Go watch Margin Call. If you haven't seen Margin Call, go watch Margin Call.
From the director of Craving the Hunter, I apologize. It's a great film.
Thank you. Why would you say that?
It was a joke. JC Chandor, he wrote and directed Margin Call, which is a great film. First film. He also did Triple Frontier. Yeah, it was just a joke.
Go watch Margin Call if you haven't watched Margin Call, because this episode is just people trying to do a Margin Call, but contained to one company.
Yeah, we referenced Margin Call earlier this season as well. Adler is sick. The company is about to be in trouble.
I thought Adler was about to become CEO, but it seems like it's going to be some Bain guy.
What is Adler's role?
Adler is head of something. I don't know.
I've always thought he was CEO. I've always thought Adler was CEO.
No.
That's
He's
crazy.
like the head of, I don't know. He might be the head of like fixed, I don't know.
Anyway, whatever. I just thought it was CEO. It's going to be somebody else. And then him and Eric now want to basically fight for the company.
Or for their division.
Yeah. Because it seems like it's going to be Eric and Adler versus company versus Pierpoint, whatever for now. Yeah. Next episode.
Yeah. To try and I guess it's because most of the bad numbers will be on their books, right? Because they're leading all these
ESG
that seem to be going to zero.
Yeah. Speaking of best lines of the episode, when he says, "Putting cancer in your vanity up against you, then your vanity still wins."
Bruh. Great line. Great line.
I love how Eric cries in that scene.
I don't know what to feel. Give him his Emmy now for that line reading as well. There's 2 Emmys in this episode. Kit Harington for I Can Only Fuck Down, and Ken Leung for I Don't Know How to Feel. Because I feel like that's not just about like whatever they were talking about in that scene. I think that was just in general. And then they ask Adler asks him about his divorce, how it's going, and he says his wife is a ruthless bitch, but that's why he loves her. And then he talks about his daughters.
Oh my God, we could have spent, and it's like every time I used to see my daughter's features in every young woman I came across.
Yeah.
And now Adler is like, no, you want to just come across every young woman.
Hello,
Mr. Tao, HR.
And then he says,
God, so many lines.
Don't
disgrace is coming. It's like, I used to always envy your hair. It hasn't moved an inch. Then Adler is like, I hope you're not crying for me. It's like we grew up in this business and we not fight for his soul. I was just like, oh my god, you people are just on a different level what
It's a
you're
fucking
writing right
margin
now.
call. It's a margin call, man. So
Good,
good. It's so
very
good.
good scene. Very
I
good
think
scene.
I definitely think I think this is yeah, I think this is easily my favorite episode of this season
Wow.
so far. Like it's not I don't think it's even close anymore.
Yeah, so this
And
Robert thing did not really budge you like that.
It didn't. It did not. I was like, oh, he's having a trip. Oh, he's seeing his mom.
Am
Cool.
I overreacting? This is
I don't think
interesting.
you are. I think it's meant to hit the people that it's supposed to hit. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
not one of them.
Fair.
But
Yeah, it's
it jumped when he said disgrace is coming to expedited. That's what got to me.
a great episode.
Twitched.
Great episode. Great episode. Um I don't even know my favorite is. This maybe three, maybe four. I don't know.
Back to so in this episode, Eric calls or tells Robert that he is or he should be a company man.
Yes.
And then in the hearing, they call him the company's whipping boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think that the show is trying to say something very specific about masculinity
Go ahead.
in this episode, like in this season. I think
Go ahead.
it's putting all these not phrases, but like perspectives of what being a man could or should be in front of you, and then asking you, do you think this is healthy?
Mm.
Because it isn't. Like being a company man and taking shit for a company that's going to that has described you as fuckable
Mm-hmm.
isn't being a man. You are being a whipping boy. But yeah, that was my reading.
Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up now, so you guys can listen to the Mickey and Current conversation if you're still here. Um, the Robert thing is so interesting because like he's not gonna quit and go work for like
Feature done.
or Deloitte or whatever. Like he's probably gonna go.
He could go
That
work
was
for
always-
it. He could.
but I mean, that's like he's not going to leave the industry. I don't know how to put it. Like if anything, if he's leaving what do we call it, peer points, he's probably going to work for Lumi. Which I'm just like, I don't know if that makes sense.
Lumi's a dead business. He can't work
Okay,
for
but not Lumi, maybe not Lumi, but like
Europe.
Mock. No, so I want to know because I think, like we said, this is it. And back to the masculinity thing, I find the idea that Mock tells him to take off his suit and wear a Lumi t-shirt very interesting. Because I think the suit is the signifier of that masculinity, right? That banking masculinity.
Armor. Yeah.
It's the armor exactly. That's actually the word I have in my notes. And the time to take it off, he takes it off, and he wears this Lumi shirt, which is just a Lumi shirt. So it's just like, yeah, it's part of the thing. I also had on my notes that they've spent this season because I kept on thinking about episode 3. They spent this season making Robert and Eric an actual relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And one that you're like, oh, these guys are like, if not friends, friendly.
It's like an actual mentor mentee.
Yeah. And then, which is, I think, why the the stabbing in the back, the knife hurts Robert a lot more because like, oh, I shared a hotel room with this guy.
We had
Like
a whole
this guy
body
gave a sex worker my name.
and
Like
it was
I
cool.
thought, yeah, I thought we were different. I thought we were okay. I didn't know you were gonna just sacrifice me like that. Anyway, yeah, let's leave it there. Anything else?
Nah, I'm actually a bit awed.
Yeah.
Stunning.
I
Your dragon show
listened
could
to
never. Your dragon show
Dragon
could
Show
never.
Dragon Show is my top 10 of the year though.
Duh. Because really good. But
Oh, okay. I didn't know
I
again,
wasn't calling
internet.
it
I didn't
bad.
know where you felt on the Dragon Show.
No, dragon show is
Again, the
excellent.
internet. So
The internet's a dumb place.
they
There's a
are
lot of dumb takes on the internet.
I remember I was listening to them and there's a reference movie that they have, I think for episode 7 that they directed, and I was like, oh my god, I might be so locked in. they referenced 12 Angry Men. Anyone who's watched that. So I was like, okay, this might actually just be an all-timer season. Yeah, okay, that's really there. Guys, thank you for listening. Please enjoy our conversation with Mickey and Conrad. And yeah, that's what you think about this episode, this season. And join us next week when we'll be joined by Oscar winner Daniel Kaluuya. Bye, guys.